We're heading to Happy Valley on Wednesday night for an 8-race programme. No cup race as such, still a competitive card as always. We're racing on the C+3 course as well. A very warm welcome to Racing to Win. I'm Andrew Lejeune, joined here in the studio by Paul Lally, our form analyst, and race caller Brett Davis as well. Brett, what are we going to look forward to on Wednesday night?
Well, there's plenty of things to look forward to, Andrew. Of course, we've got music rocking the valley for those that'll be on course. As you said, there's no cup race, but there is 8 very competitive races on paper. There's some interesting new starters. One particular Band of Brothers looks a nice young horse. C+3 course is always a little bit tricky. We know it's a sharp turn when they corner for home, so the fields can spread open and runs can appear and then they can close up quickly. So you'll need to study hard to find winners, but you'll get value in doing so. All right, Band of Brothers trained by Paul O'Sullivan has been in the news. We'll come back to that, Paul, in due course. What have we got jackpot-wise?
None.
All right.
No jackpots, but we can make some. There's no problems there. There's plenty, as Brett said, competitive racing going on throughout the card. One horse has come up really short early. I think he'll drift back out, Harmony Hero. Other than that, I think there's you're not going to get a really short price favourite. Blitzing might come up a little bit shorter, but other than that, looks like some good racing.
Yeah, he was a dollar early, Harmony Hero.
Yeah. All right, well, Joe Moreira will be back in action on Wednesday night as well. He was out on the weekend, so it was a good day for Zach Purton, which we can look back on with our racing review. Zach had 9 rides on the programme, took out the feature, the Anoi Tong Cup. That was on the all-weather, but we're looking at one of his other winners as well, and this was Time to Celebrate in the Class 2 early on. We've just missed the move. He'd sat in, but just came with this run round the outside, and he put this to bed pretty quickly. He did, yeah. This was not a surprise. He did start favourite. The main challenger in the race, Super Rich, he, on paper and on figures anyway, just never settled in the run. I get the feeling he probably needs a break, Super Rich, but Time to Celebrate was in one race, the rest in another. Gold Chest ran well in defeat, but he's been a fairly decent galloper, Time to Celebrate. Of course, came here last season for a tilt at the Derby in the 4-year-old series. It didn't quite pan out, but it was just the start of the ball rolling, really, for Zach Purton, having a marvellous day in the saddle.
Yeah, great ride, wasn't he? He sort of took everything out of the equation by that run. I think Super Rich, there was some stiffness in his action.
There was,
day, so there was a little excuse there, and as you say, he might go out for a break now as well. But yeah, good win from Time to Celebrate.
So 6 in total for Zach on the afternoon.
Should have been 7.
Could have been 7.
Yeah, we all agree. I think it should have been 7. He was unlucky not to win the last. And Glorious Artist, he had a 2nd as well as a 3rd. Door, I think, ran 5th or 6th. That was the other ride. But he joins that illustrious 6 winners on the day group. Yeah, Douglas White, Brett Preble.
Absolutely. Well, it's Time to Celebrate. Got 10. Full of Beauty remains unbeaten. 4 from 4 now. He got 11 points.
Yeah. And again, just another 10 out of 10 ride. You could see that he found the lead early, headed off, and then it looked like he was going to get caught in a pocket for a moment, but Zach peeled him off the fence and he just charged through and again showed that he's a real talent. I thought the win from I Do was a good performance too. I mean, he did dump Zach Purton on the way to the gates, got loose. The vets looked at him, passed him, and he still was able to win. So that's a good result for everyone.
And Tianchi Monster trying to fight his way into the Derby.
He is, isn't he? Like he's still got a little bit to do, but he's winning them, and that's the main thing he can do. He can only beat the opposition. Thought it was a really good win from Refined Treasure as well, up to 90 there. So they talk about him going for the Group 1 later in the season.
There's a case to be made for Tianchi Monster. 3 of his last 4.
Absolutely. All right, we'll come back to that. Those are the big winners on the weekend. Let's see if we can find you some more, though, with our horses to follow. All right, Paul, you're up first. What do you got?
I've got a horse called London Hall. He hadn't done too much to date. He's only had limited starts here, of course, and I thought he ran really well here. He got well back over the 1,600-metre event, stepping up and trip, and you could see once he got into the clear, it was quite an eye-catching run from him, and I thought the best part of this run was the last 100 metres, just the way he hit the line. So the 1,600 metres, even up to 1,800 metres, looks like it's going to hold no fears for this horse. And I think a win from him looks very close. You can see him in the yellow and the white, just in behind them, and he still looks like he's going to run 5th there. But just look at this little bit here, how he hit the line, and he almost in a photo there for 3rd.
That was I Do's race, who was one of Zach's 6, Brett.
I'm going to go with Gold Chest. We just saw this replay with Time to Celebrate. This horse will get into the Derby for me following this performance. He's obviously right on the cusp of whether or not he will get in on his rating and the number of horses that are accepted and some will drop out. But I do think he'll get a spot. and I think potentially he could be a little long shot. I think Time to Celebrate's a very decent measuring stick here. This guy we know was called Naval Intelligence, 2 from 2 in England before he came. The run in the Classic Cup was a forgive for a few. The run prior to that I thought was quite good, and then he followed up there with a good performance. So I think he's just coming to hand at the right time. He might be a month or so late, but coming well enough, I think, to be competitive in the Derby.
All right, that's Gold Chest. As far as I'm concerned, well, this horse has a Derby entry, but I think they'll probably run out of time. Glorious Dragon, Martin Harley in the saddle here on the grey for Tony Millard. His name was Stevenson's Rocket in the UK. Now, we pick it up here, and he looks quite relaxed, and he's just about to finish off his race, but the early part of his race, he wouldn't settle at all from there. There was a little bit of a pace injection. He dropped his head. But the fact he's finished his race off in this manner with Tianchi Monster just in front of him, I say they might struggle to get to the Derby, but he had a big prize here. I know he's your horse to follow on the day, Paul, but he'll be winning races for sure.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. He won't be 85 to 1 next start for sure.
But Paul was out of his seat at about the 100, wasn't he,
well,
in the box?
Would have been nice if he'd run third. I thought he might with about 200 to go too.
He did keep grinding away there.
So considering Tianchi Monster's in the form he is, to finish as close, given the run he had, and just his second start, I like him. Chad Schofield on Iron Bravo and Martin Harley on Righteous Doctrine. That was that final event from the weekend. You've got 2 days, the 27th to the 3rd of March. All right, let's look back on Shartin. Before we get into Happy Valley, the preview for this week's card, bit of news, big news as well. Pakistan Star will be leaving Tony Cruz's yard to be trained now by Paul O'Sullivan. We caught up with him at track work.
Yeah, I think anybody would be happy to train him, but with him comes the challenges. He's not straightforward. I think that's very well known all around the world. So hopefully, change of environment, I don't know, things might improve, who knows.
Was it quite flattering? I mean, every trainer would want a horse like that in their stable. Well,
that's Hong Kong for you. You get some horses here, you say, where did that come from? And you lose some horses and you say, where did that come from? But, we've had a number of high-profile horses in the last 10 years go from stable to stable for whatever reason, but it's nice to get the chance to train them.
And a nice challenge for you. Obviously, there's been a little bit of a void at the top level gone since Aero Velocity retired, but is that a nice incentive for you now with a horse like that to play with?
Yeah, well, it'd be nice to run a group race again. That hasn't happened for a year or so, but we'll get a chance. We'll see how we go.
Yeah, obviously, Tony Cruz will be very disappointed about losing the horse, but Paul summed up the situation, I think, quite well. An exciting horse for him to get his hands
Absolutely,
on.
Yeah. Look, we wish Paul the best of luck. I'm sure Tony will he'll deal with the situation. It happens all the time, has done for years. At the end, the outcome is to get Pakistan Star back to his brilliant best. We know he's a world-class horse when he's in the right frame of mind, and it's now Paul's job to see if he can get that happening.
He's very quirky. I'll be interested to see if he sends him up to Chung Fa for a
I
little
agree,
break as well.
I agree. Why wouldn't you? I mean, it's there, that facility. It's a marvellous facility. It's the closest thing to, the real type of territory that horses like to be in here in such a big city. There's been so many horses already that have gone down there and have shown already that it's worth its weight in gold. And I think Pakistan Star deserves to gallivant around in a paddock down there for a while and just chill out and then come back and start again.
Well, those two races we've seen there, the QE2 and the Champions Chater Cup end of the season, so maybe a freshen up and back to defend the titles.
Maybe. I don't know whether it can all happen that quickly. It possibly can, but he's been quirky and up and down all season, so it might take longer, but let's hope it does eventuate.
All right, OK, that's Pakistan Star. Let's move into Happy Valley now. And My Dear will not be racing in race number 3. He is out, replaced by Power Racer. Race 3, number 2. And Precious Sweetie's out of the 4th as well. The show gets a start now. Sylvester de Sosa in the saddle. All right, we're up to date. This is meeting number 50 of the season at Happy Valley. 8 turf races, C+3 course. We finish off with 3 Class 3s, but no trophy race as such this week. We kick things off, Class 5 of the 1650, headed by Gentry, back in class, a course and distance winner last season. 1 from 1 in this grade, in actual fact. The Sylph takes a class drop as well. Lucky Shiny Day, 3rd. Course and distance, 2 starts, back beaten favourite on the all-weather last match. Enjoyable Success, blinkers go back on as he comes off the all-weather. Kwai Chung Brothers, a course and distance winner in December. Jumbo Bus will roll forward from barrier number 4. Laugh Out Loud was behind Management Star, finishing 4th over the mile at Shartin last time. And Massive Power was a massive price last time, eventually finishing 3rd. His rating has doubled on the back of that.
It's incredible.
Gone from 5 to 10. Yes. Massive Power, can he do it again?
Well, the handicapper would suggest he's basically won a race, wouldn't he? So you would think he's going to give some cheek on the lead again. Maybe Jumbo Bus and Lucky Storm, the two to pressure him for the top spot, and they should generate some reasonable speed heading out of the first corner in the opener of the Class 5. The U-Man handicap, Paul.
Yep, the U-Man, and here is Gentry. He's going really nice. He looks really well placed in this race. He's 1 from 1 in the grade. He's dropped down Zach Purton aboard, and the horse is going nice. You can see the hold he's under as he comes down, and he looks hard to beat, I think, in this particular contest. And all enjoyable success has got the blinkers going back on, so that's why I thought I'd show this piece. Not really being let go at all here, but he's now down here into, well, he's been into Class 5 for a few starts now. Neil Cullen will take the mount on race day. And Massive Power, he's taken no harm from that run. He's Eddie Lyons aboard. He's close to a milestone Eddie, and barrier number 3 for him. Yeah, he goes nice as well, Massive Power. So no reason why he can't reproduce that run.
Dennis Yip, Frankie Law, both closing in on milestones. 100 for Frankie, and Dennis is close to 700.
Wow. All right, we'll kick off though with Gentry. This is him over the 1650. 2 starts back because he was on the all-weather last time out behind Good Fit.
I think this horse has been sort of set up for this race. He's won off a rating of 47 before, rating of 40. Now, we've seen Dennis Yip and Zach Purton team up with 2 downgraders this season, the Full Bloom and Chungwa Spirit on the weekend, and they both won really nicely, and I think this is a similar case.
Yeah, I've got nothing to add. Paul highlighted the horses I was thinking about as well, the Full Bloom and Chungwa Spirit, so he's a definite inclusion into the tips for me, Gentry. All
right, Gentry goes in then. Kwai Chung Brothers and Laugh Out Loud would take a check on next. This is back in December we're going back to.
Had to show the reappearance of success for the Sylph back in early December, and of course this was a memorable win on the night for those that have been following. We know he's capable. He's down into this class. He's had 3 starts in this grade for 1 win. We just spoke about Gentry. He's 1 for 1 in the grade. So again, I think you've got to take him into consideration, as hard as he can be to follow sometimes.
Look, that was off 35.
Got him in, haven't you, Paul?
Yeah, I threw him in on a minor line because he's been running well at the bottom of Class 4.
Andrew was talking him up last start. I presume he'll be putting him on top.
We'll see.
That means no.
Enjoyable success here on the all-weather. This over the 1800 metres. Now, he's wearing the pacifiers with the cowls. They take the pacifiers to win the blinkers, essentially the same thing. But best effort so far, finishing second.
I don't like him on the turf. He just seems to have a liking for the all-weather. From what I've noticed with him, enjoyable success. So for that reason, I have left him out. I think pound for pound against the other horses, he's capable, but he seems to be a better horse on the all-weather track.
Yeah, I put him in because he's only had the 1 start at Happy Valley, and sometimes that all-weather form can transfer to Happy Valley, and he's got the blinkers back on, so that was the main reason with the gear change.
Lucky Shiny Day, though, is our favourite, Brett, with the return of Joe Moreira.
He is. I don't know whether Paul will be putting him in, but I will be.
Yeah, no, I haven't in the end. I'm going to go with the Gentry. I just think they've really targeted this race for him, and down here in Class 5, he's 1 from 1, so I quite like him here in this race. A Massive Power, I don't think it was a fluke. I think he can go on with his really light weight and run in a similar race. We've talked about the Sylph, and enjoyable success in there for 4th. 1, 12, 2 and 4. I like the 1 in this race.
Yeah, look, I've got 1, 2, 3 in, but I'll stick with Lucky Shiny Day. Joe Moreira sticking with him. He just didn't fire on the dirt last start. He was travelling okay through the first half, and then it was just... He was under pressure a long way out. That was just not characteristic of him. I know he's still a maiden, but he was knocking on the door prior to that, so I'll give him another opportunity. Gentry, the Sylph, will be the hardest to beat. And Laugh Out Loud was unlucky not to probably win that race behind Management Star last outing. He's a ride for Regan Bayliss, heading to the Valley for his first ride there at the City Circuit. 9-year-old. Drawn well, though, so I've got him in 4. 3, 1, 2 and 10.
All right, we've all got the Sylph in. Not on top, I'm with you, though, Brett. Lucky Shiny Day.
Yeah, he's hard to tip on top.
He's the one to beat in the first. All right, we go up in class and up in trip for race number 2. Class 4, 1800 metres, that's next.